Skin the Hardaway Sudden T. Back with another EP. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all smash that like button for your boy. I'm here just to have a boxing conversation real quick. You know what I mean? I normally don't go on this late. But, this is something that I just seen, right? And shit, I seen it and I felt the nerve to speak on it. You know what I mean? I think this something worth speaking on. We're in a time in boxing, right? Where we got a lot of pump faking going on type deal. A lot of people jockeying in for position with maybe the intent to really fight or not. You know what I mean? We ain't sure. But Shakur Stevenson was victorious in his last fight versus Robson Cohen-Sankow. Right. But the drama surrounding Shakur Stevenson's last fight wasn't, him winning or him losing, because he won the fight. He won the fight pretty easy. But most of the drama, right, was surrounded around, Shakur Stevenson missing weight, whether it was on purpose or whether it was a mistake or not. Shakur Stevenson did miss weight in his last fight, right? And upon missing weight, Shakur Stevenson announced that he will be moving up to the 135-pound division upon entering his next fight. And when Shakur Stevenson, dropped that news, he had the he had the Robson Cohen-Sankow fight, right? And he was victorious, and that began to raise the question. That began to raise a question for everybody, right? Who is Shakur Stevenson going to fight at the 135-pound division? Who will be, the best matchup for him? Of course, the usual names came about. Devin Haney, Lomachenko, right? But Shakur Stevenson gave a couple names himself, you know what I mean? And one of the names that Shakur Stevenson gave was Good DS. Appreciate you sliding through. And one of the names that Shakur Stevenson gave, right, was William Zepeda. William Zepeda is coming off, 2 straight victories. One over Jose Alvarado, who was a veteran fighter, crafty veteran fighter. And the other, what's good, Jazz? Appreciate that. And the other fighter was William Zepeda, right? The other fighter was Jojo Diaz, right? So William Zepeda is coming off 2 straight victories, Jose Alvarado and Jojo Diaz, right? He looked pretty good, in that fight against Jojo Diaz. I picked Jojo Diaz to beat William Zepeda, not because William Zepeda is a bad fighter, nothing like that, just because, I'm a fan of Jojo Diaz, nothing more, nothing less, right? But so William Zepeda, he looked good in that fight. You know what I mean? Some people want to see William Zepeda tested, right? Shakur Stevenson just getting to 135. We all view Shakur Stevenson as, one of the next up and coming, one of the best, most definitely one of the next up, one of the best prospects out. So we're not expecting him to go into the 135-pound division, looking for light touches. And neither is he, because he volunteered, 2 names. I think he said Cruz and he said William Zepeda. Now, the reason I'm here today is he said he volunteered Cambosis and he volunteered William Zepeda. Shakur Stevenson had put out a comment, right? And he said he wouldn't mind fighting William Zepeda at 135. He won't mind seeing what all the hype is about, right? So what I'm guessing is William Zepeda got word about what Shakur Stevenson had said. William Zepeda got word got back to William Zepeda about what Shakur Stevenson said, and William Zepeda has now answered the bell for Shakur Stevenson, right? So I was talking about earlier, us being in a time where, people are pump faking a lot of fights. We getting fights, to happen, and then we getting called off. We getting a lot of people, leading us on in the fights, and then they're not happening, right? So Shakur Stevenson, he basically put out an open challenge, to William Zepeda, and it looks like William Zepeda is obliging Shakur Stevenson, with his challenge. I'm about to read exactly, what William Zepeda had to say in regards to Shakur Stevenson. But, long story short, Shakur Stevenson basically said, I want to see what the William Zepeda hype train is about. And William Zepeda obliged him, and he said, don't just, say my name, send me a contract, and I'll be there. Now, I know a lot of people, say this, right? Send a contract. But William Zepeda hasn't given me a reason, you know, that I wouldn't believe him when he says, send the contract and I beat her. So when William Zepeda says this, I take it seriously and I take it to the heart. Both guys are top ranked fighters, so it wouldn't be a problem, to make this fight happen. It would actually be pretty easy. So I think with William Zepeda actually being open and accepting the challenge, this is probably a fight that we should, be looking forward or be looking towards, or at least be paying attention to see exactly who did and didn't want the fight, in this aspect. But I'm about to read to you guys. From the article so y'all could know that this ain't no fap or fabrication, right? Royal Bish. What's good, Royal Bish? Appreciate you sliding through. Then what's good, Lex? Let me rinse you up, Lex. Appreciate you sliding through. Shout out my girl Lex sliding through this thing. Glad you can make it, beautiful. Glad you can make it. Let me get you rinsed up real quick, sis. Let me get you right while you're in the building. What's good, Roy? Appreciate you. Shout out my girl Jazz sliding through this thing. Shout out my girl Alexis. Alexis over there supposed to be asleep. Let me rinse you up. Matter of fact, Ray, let me rinse you up too, since I'm wrenching up Alexis. I'm gonna go and rinse up Ray. I'm gonna rinse up Alexis. What's good, baby mom? Appreciate you sliding through. Shout out my baby mama sliding through this thing as well. What the hell is you doing up? What the hell is you doing up, Ty? Appreciate you sliding through. Let me get my girl Royal Bitch rinsed up. Let me get my girl Royal Bitch. Now, there you go. Make another comment, Royal. Make another comment, Royal, so I can see if your wrench went through. Greatly appreciate everybody sliding through this junk. What's good, DS? What's good, DS? Yeah, nah, I ain't got no stable, bro. I ain't, nah, not really. He said, no coming. There you go, bet. I got you. I got you. I got you. There you go. I got you rinsed up. See you blue now. See you blue now. There you go. See you blue now. There you go. See you blue now. So yep. So back to the back to the article. Let's go and get it. Let's go and get right. Let's go and get right. So, again, Shakur Stevenson issue. Right. He said, where we at? Okay, so Shakur Stevenson issued out an open challenge, right? Shakur Stevenson issued out an open challenge to, William Zepeda. And this article is coming straight from Jake Donovan. So, when Jake Donovan say something, when Jake Donovan writes something, I advise you to take heed to it. I advise you to listen to it. Jake Donovan, Hall of Fame voter, the lead head writer for Boxing Scene, friend of Southern T Boxing, been on the show before. Actually, was the first person that I ever interviewed was Jake Donovan. Second person was Tay Jones. You know what I mean? So shout out Jake Donovan. This is coming straight from Jake Donovan. So William Zepeda is least impressed with being called out by one of the best fighters in the sport, Shakur Stevenson. He will be more excited once it leads to an actual fight. The unbeaten lightweight made a hit list, and the hit list consisted of WBC title eliminator Pitbull Cruz, and also William Zepeda and George Kambosos Jr. This is what Shakur Stevenson had to say. This is coming directly from Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson said, if the little puppy Cruz doesn't want to fight, let's get who's next in line. Shakur Stevenson recently stated through social media, isn't William Zepeda or George Kambosos Jr.? It doesn't really matter. I'm ready to smoke someone regardless. Because Zepeda is the one whooping people. He's the so-called boogeyman. So let's see what all the hype is about. That's what Shakur Stevenson had to say, in regards to that's what Shakur Stevenson had to say, right? In regards. That's what Shakur Stevenson had to say in regards to you know what I mean, his next opponent. You know what I mean? He said, well, since Pitbull don't want to fight, right? Let's see, who next in line. Ain't it George Kambosos or William Zepeda? Right? William Zepeda, right? He word got back to him, he heard it, and he had an answer, you know what I mean, for Shakur Stevenson. Right? This is Shakur Stevenson. This is Shakur Stevenson, in response. This is Shakur Stevenson in response to, Shakur. This is William Zepeda in response to Shakur Stevenson, right? Zepeda said, don't mention me. Send me a contract. When and where is the dance? Tell me when and where is the dance, and I'll be there. He said, don't mention me. Send me a contract for when and where the dance is, and I'll be there. Zepeda made a splash in his most recent contest, soundly outpointing former IBF junior lightweight titleist Jojo Diaz over 12 rounds, October 29th in San Diego, California. The win came 5 weeks after Stevenson was just forced to leave the WBC and WBO junior lightweight titles at the scale due to missing weight. It goes without saying, Stevenson will land among the best at whatever reasonable weight he lands, including the loaded lightweight division, which Zepeda has earned his way to the top, right? So pretty much, long story short, that's basically just saying William Zepeda got worried about what Shakur said, and William Zepeda is open to the fight with Shakur Stevenson. You know what I mean? So that just gives us, something else to look forward to right now. Shakur is the one who volunteered this fight, right? And the reason I'm talking about this is Shakur is the one who volunteered this fight, right? Now, I'm guessing most people pick Shakur to win this fight. But basically what I'm getting at now, right, the ball is back in Shakur Stevenson's court. William Zepeda, he ain't no slouch or he ain't no joke. And this will be Shakur Stevenson's first fight at 135. So if Shakur Stevenson steps up to 135 and he faces off against William Zepeda, who is now, you know what I mean, the mandatory, right, pretty much for the WBC after beating Jojo Diaz, right? He's actually next in line for a few shots, but I think he's ranked the highest in the WBC, right? So if Shakur Stevenson is to jump in and he's to beat William Zepeda, that will push Shakur Stevenson. He's already at the top of the division skill-wise, right? But that will push Shakur Stevenson, you know what I mean, next in line for a title shot with a win over William Zepeda, top 5 ranked heavyweight in the division, right? So this fight makes sense all the way around. If he not gonna fight Pitbull, actually he's not for the WBC. If he beat Williams and Pater, that'll put him in the top 5, right? But the WBC want Isaac Cruz to be their champion. The WBC want Isaac Cruz, you know what I mean, to be their champion, which is why they gave Shakur and Isaac Cruz the offer, right? But Williams and Pater is a top 5 ranked opponent, so that would put him in top 5 of each division with a win over Williams and Pater, right? But I'm bringing light to this because Shakur Stevenson is the one that brought this fight up, right? And now we got Williams and Pater obliging them. So I'm feeling like that we should be seeing this fight next. I'm gonna be paying close attention to exactly what Shakur Stevenson's next move is, right? Now I'm not saying he got to necessarily answer this tomorrow, but you called this man's name, so I'm expecting him to answer this sooner than later. You know what I mean? What's good, Dominic? Appreciate you sliding through this, John Dominic. Glad you can make it. Do your boy a favor, Dominic. Smash that like button for your boy when you roll on in. We in this thing, just having a little boxing conversation. I know I ain't normally on this late, but I said, you know what? Let's cook. I said, you know what? Let's cook. I said, but you know what? Let's cook. I had saw this come across my feed, right? And I thought it was conversation worthy. Most definitely something that I'm interested in. I think this is a big fight. I think this is one of the bigger fights at 135, right? We got Rivera. We got Rivera about to fight Frank Martin, right? We got Tank Davis, who about to fight Garcia, right? Hector Garcia, and then Ryan Garcia, right? So, they not necessarily in the championship mix right now, but they are 2 top welterweights. So, we got a few, I say welterweights, lightweights. So we got a few of these lightweight fights. You know what I mean? That's about to go down. Soon. You know what I mean? So I think this is one where everybody was excited for Shakur Stevenson versus Pitbull Cruz. I think this fight is more so one that we should get excited about because it's more likely to happen with both fighters being top ranked guys and with both fighters already expressing a want to fight each other. If this fight, appreciate that, Jazz. Shout out my girl, Jazz. Something wrong with your ass, for real. But if this fight happens to get made, right? If this fight happens to get made, I'm gonna be the first. I'm gonna put a lot of people on Front Street for one. But if it don't get made, I'm gonna have to push Shakur on Front Street, right? But if this fight get made, which I think it is, right? Because you got both fighters expressing interest. So if this fight get made, which I think it is, I'm gonna give both fighters credit. You know what I mean? Because when 2 people, one thing I know for sure, right? And the reason that I'm speaking on this is because I want to bring light to this, and I kind of, I'm gonna be keeping up with this to see where it go, to see what come from this, right? So this gonna be one of the Southern T stories, that we follow. Southern T. We be tracking down stories from when they start until when they end. So this shit started about 3 or 4 days ago. We got Williams and Pater, who has now taken the challenge from Shakur Stevenson. So now the ball is in Shakur Stevenson court to see exactly what's gonna come from this. You know what I mean? But this most definitely a fight that I'm writing down, in my book. I believe style-wise, right? This gonna be a good fight. Williams and Pater, can box. He's a guy with nice power. Shakur Stevenson can box as well. Contrary to belief, Shakur's good, D-man. Appreciate you sliding through. Contrary to belief, Shakur Stevenson is a fighter, who has respectable power as well. This gonna be a fight where, Shakur Stevenson gonna have to be on his A game, right? Y'all do your boy a favor, y'all jab that like button for your boy. Whether you you here to stay or you just rolling on in. You know what I mean? Y'all do your boy a favor. Also, y'all say what's up, to the queen, Royal Bitch. Appreciate her sliding through. You know what I mean? Greatly appreciate. She done made, you know what I mean, your boy, she done made your boy happy. They appreciate Royal Bitch sliding through. I wrenched the queen up. The girl Jazz as always. My guy Dominic. My guy DS. Appreciate you sliding through this thing, DS. Baby Mama Tap Baby. Appreciate you. Kurt Raines. Ray Buck. Everybody. Gang. Appreciate you sliding through for the late stream. I know I normally don't be on this late, but I said, you know what, fuck it. Oh, I got something on my mind. We gonna talk this goddamn, you know what I mean, boxing. Because it seemed like that the Earl Spence and Bud situation kind of tainted, you know what I mean, boxing a little bit for me. You know what I mean? Because I don't believe nothing. Like I damn sure don't believe like the Ryan versus Tank thing. And I know that the fight, is legit, and I know that it's real. Right. But I still don't trust Ryan as far as I could throw him. You know what I mean? So, I don't, too much think that fight. I ain't gonna say I don't think it's gonna happen where I know it's real, but there's one of them jumps where I gotta see Ryan actually walk out to the ring, get in the ring, and start throwing punches before I believe it, right? Now I will say this. Tank versus Hector Garcia. I think that's an underrated fight. Right. I think that's an underrated fight, right? I know that one is gonna happen, but as far as Ryan and Tank, I'm not sure. We just went through the Earl and Bud thing. You know what I mean? Us thinking, we go get that, and then that thing falling through, them fighting other people. The news actually breaking, right? Tank and Ryan fighting each other, but then the news breaking that it's gonna be a fight in between. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of pump faking and shit going on out here. You know what I mean with fights. But with this fight right here, and again, the Cruz fight and Shakur fight wasn't really one that I was too high on. Those actually when we talked about it, right? When the WBC made all those fights, when we talked about it, there was actually one of the fights. There was actually one of the fights where I was like, that fight probably not gonna happen, given both sides. Given I was like that fight probably not gonna happen, given both sides, being on different sides, you know what I mean, of the street, I actually said this right, it actually came out of my mouth when it happened. I was like, man, I really don't see, that fight happening. I don't see the PBC feeding goddamn Cruz to Shakur. Why would the PBC let Shakur beat, one of they up and coming stars? And I know, that sound crazy, but right, ever since the Tank fight, Colin Cruz a star. I know that sounds crazy, but when you really think about it, it's not, because everybody know Tank is a popular boxer, one of the more popular boxers in boxing. So there is a level of recognition that comes with fighting Tank. So by Cruz fighting Tank, right, they gave Cruz a level of recognition, and right, PBC has taken notice to how people have taken a notice to Eastside Pitbull Cruz. I was actually at the Earl Spence versus Ugas fight, and I'm telling you, when Eastside Cruz came out, the fans went fucking ballistic. You know what I mean? Just listen to those crowds, just watch those crowds when dude fight. His style. Whether we feel like he's a tactician or not, right? His level is arguable, right? But his markability, his style of fighting, is a fan friendly type of style. No, he's not a headliner, or nothing like that yet, but he is a guy, that could draw a crowd. You could put on the co-main, you know what I mean, to spice up a card. So he's a guy that the PBC has interest in, and he's also, a guy that the PBC may want to, put back in the ring with Tank, given that the aura and mystique you get from Tank not knocking you out. Now, Tank has only not knocked out two people, which is why, it seems like Pitbull Cruz, is on this new level, right? Since the Tank fight, because he actually is on a new level as far as visibility, name recognition. You know what I mean? Type deal. So I knew they weren't finna throw the Pitbull in there with Shakur. Why would you throw Pitbull in there with Shakur and get him beat the fuck up? You know what I mean? Like that type deal. So I kind of knew that fight wasn't gonna happen. One, because Pitbull gonna get beat the fuck up. Why would you do that? Two, you know, uh, it just didn't. Of all the fights that happened, right? I know PBC and Top Rank will and have done business together before, but that doesn't happen unless the bag is just too big or the fight is just too sweet. You can't pass up. Cruz Shakur ain't a fight that will that they feel like they just have to have right now. It's more money in Tank versus Cruz right now than the Cruz versus Shakur. The boxing fans win with Cruz and Shakur, but when that WBC dropped, I knew that was just kind of like a stab in the dark, right? You know what I mean? But this Williams Zepeda and Shakur Stevenson fight, there's something more concrete. There's more something that I can get into, right? And then I heard Shakur, when he called out Cambosis and Zepeda, I seen a few people make a video about it. Brother Just Dude made a video about it, along with a bunch of other people. So I seen it, but I didn't feel the need to make a video about it because I was waiting for the return. I was waiting for the answer. I wanted to see how long it took, and William Zepeda came back with an answer today. And William Zepeda answer was, "Don't call my name, send me a contract." And that's the kind of talk that I like to hear now. Yeah, I want to know what I'm waiting on now because a lot of people, did the Shakur call that video, Cambosis and William. I'm the only one who's done the Williams of Pater, you know what I mean, call that video. And this happened earlier today, right? So I'm not the only, I don't think I'm the first one to see this. I haven't seen anybody else do a video on it, but you know, I want to be the first one to make, the response video. And Williams Zepeda said that he down with it. You know what I mean? So I think we all should and could be looking forward to Williams Zepeda versus Shakur Stevenson. And I'm saying that to say that'll be a hell of a fight for Shakur Stevenson to take at his very first fight at the 135-pound, division. Because Williams Zepeda ain't no slouch. And kudos to Williams Zepeda for actually stepping up to the challenge and saying, yes, I'll fight Shakur Stevenson. Williams Zepeda, right, he is, right, what this showed me with his response is that he is everything that I thought he was. You know what I mean? And now the ball is back in Shakur Stevenson's court. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all smash that like button for your boy. Whether you here for a good time or a long time, really appreciate you sliding through. You know what I mean? I could get off right now, or I could roll up. You know what I mean? Again, right now, I still feel like talking. Goddamn it. You know what I mean? Right now, I still feel like talking. Goddamn it. So, I'm still talking. Right now I still feel like talking, so I'm still talking. You know what I mean? Because this Zepeda shit got me hyped, man. Like, I ain't gonna lie, like I ain't gonna say I was expecting Zepeda. It was good, BBG. Appreciate you, slide. BBG. Let me rinse you up. Let me rinse you up, King. You know why? I'm up. You know why I got shit going. Type deal. Let me get you right. I'm getting my folks right. Getting my folks right and shit. BBG, do your boy a favor, smash that like button for your boy. BBG, we in here talking about Williams Zepeda. I don't know if you seen a few days ago, Shakur Stevenson, right? He had said shit since Pitbull Cruz don't want to fight. The WBC, said shit. Pitbull Cruz and Shakur Stevenson, got open rank to fight for that WBC eliminator. And Pitbull Cruz dad came out and said that he'd rather not do it, right? So Shakur Stevenson said since Pitbull Cruz don't want to fight, who next in line? Ain't it George Cambosis or Williams Zepeda or somebody like that? And Williams Zepeda said Shakur, you don't necessarily gotta call my name. All you gotta do is send a contract. You know what I mean? So now this was earlier today. So now, BB, the ball is back in Shakur Stevenson's court because now I'm waiting for his response, to what William Zepeda had to say today. I was just saying, before you slid in, before I was saying, like, right before you slid in, right? Oh shit. I was saying right before you slid in, uh, that the ball is in Shakur Stevenson court right now. He says Zepeda saying he won't smoke with Shakur. That's the good fight. Yeah, facts. I was saying right now, the ball is back in Shakur Stevenson court because William Zepeda, just spoke his truth. And it took William Zepeda how long? When did Shakur Stevenson come out and say that he wanted one of these guys? It wasn't that long ago. He said this shit. It was actually less than a week ago. It took William Zepeda about 3 or 4 days to really respond to this, right? You know what I mean? So if William Zepeda can respond right within the week, right? If William Zepeda can come out and respond within the week, I think it's fair to say, man, Shakur Stevenson got about a week to answer this. You know what I mean? Before I feel like, you know, maybe you was just chirping in the dark, not thinking that these guys were scared of you and they didn't want to fight you. You know what I mean? But I also like this fight, right? Because William Zepeda is top ranked as well. You know what I mean? So both fighters top ranked. It'd be a lot easier to get this fight done. Both fighters top rank, it'll be a lot easier, right? To get this fight done. So I like that aspect. Of it as well. We got two top ranked fighters. And Shakur Stevenson is the one that said something first. So this is basically like a return fight. So this ain't one of these situations where, right, somebody calls somebody out and we wait, we sitting waiting in the dark, for a response. This was a call out and a response. So we should be a fight, right? Should be following this soon. Both fighters top ranked. Both fighters, neither fighter, is ducking no smoke, right? So I know everybody was up in arms about Cruz and Shakur. I think this fight right here is the fight to be up in arms about. I think this is a more plausible fight. I think this fight make a little more sense. So basically what I'm saying is, man, Shakur Stevenson is on the clock right now. You know what I mean? The shot clock is ticking. William Zepeda had this shit answered in less than a week. What's good, Yoda? We in here having a conversation, Yoda. I'm glad you're here, Yoda. I'm glad you're here. Right, so appreciate you sliding through this thing, Yoda. TWT in the building. Right, so Shakur Stevenson offered a challenge, right, to two people the other day. He said, since Pitbull Cruz don't want to fight, right, I want to move on to who next in line. Ain't that George Kambosos or William Zepeda, right? So 4 days after Shakur Stevenson says that, or 4 days after reports drop, right, William Zepeda has an answer now, Yoda. And that's what we're here talking about right now. William Zepeda answer. And I know I normally don't go on this late, but you know what? I was like, fuck it. I was like, you know what, fuck it. You know, we finna have the conversation. William Zepeda came out and announced me. William Zepeda said, "Don't call my name, don't mention me." A lot of fighters, say send the contract, right? But the beauty about this is, Yoda, both these fighters are signed to Top Rank. So with both these fighters being signed to Top Rank, meaning that this is an in-house fight. And with this being an in-house fight, meaning that, you know, we're more than likely to get this fight. Meaning that we're more than likely to get this fight. Now, I done seen William Zepeda fight on DAZN, and I done seen him fight on Top Rank, right? Now, DAZN fighters fight on Top Rank all the time, right? Because Top Rank and DAZN, you know, they do business together, right? So I'm not sure if he, you know, is managed by Golden Boy and fights on Top Rank or whatsoever, but I've seen him fight on Top Rank, so, you know, he's not unfamiliar with doing business, you know what I mean, with Top Rank, even if he's not signed to him, right? So, but if I'm not mistaken, this most definitely is an in-house fight, and it is not an in-house fight. This is, you know, a friendly fight. You know, Top Rank in DAZN, who, you know, has no problem doing business with each other. But I think this is an in-house fight. So so this fight, even if it's not in-house, it ain't, you know, a PBC and Top Rank fight. You know what I mean? So I think this fight is more plausible. I think this is the fight that, you know, we should be getting more excited about. You know, I think this make more sense than Cruz and Shakur, right? Zepeda and Shakur. And I actually think this is a harder fight for Shakur Stevenson than Isaac Cruz, really, because I believe Shakur Stevenson beats Isaac Cruz, right? And now I'm not saying Shakur Stevenson don't beat William Zepeda, right? But what I'm saying is, I think this is a harder fight for Shakur. I think he puts up a little more resistance than Eastside Cruz, not because, you know, he got more heart or nothing like that, because he has the heart plus the skill, where Eastside Cruz may just have the power and the heart. This guy, William Zepeda, has, you know, the power, the heart, and he has some skill to go along with the power and the heart. Y'all do your boy a favor, y'all jab that like button for your boy, whether you're here for a good time or a long time. William Zepeda has accepted the challenge of Shakur Stevenson. You know what I mean? Shakur Stevenson put out an open challenge to George Kambosos and William Zepeda. William Zepeda said, "Don't call my name. Send me the contract." You know what I mean? So he's now put the ball back in Shakur Stevenson's court. Now it's up. You know, now it's up to Shakur Stevenson. Now Shakur Stevenson is on watch for us to see exactly what he's going to do or say in response to William Zepeda. But then, but again, like I was saying, I think this is the fight, right? I think this is the fight, you know, that we should be clamoring about. Much better fight than JoJo. I mean, not JoJo. Much better fight than, you know what I mean, George Kambosos. And George Kambosos can fight. You know what I mean? George Kambosos can fight. But I think Williams Zepeda is a level skill wise above, you know what I mean, Williams Zepeda. What's good, A17? Appreciate you sliding through. Let me wrench you up, A17, while I'm passing out wrenches to the fam. You know, while I'm re-wrenching up the family, I had to reset my wrenches. You know what I mean? But I'm getting y'all right tonight. Shout out to y'all following through the late night stream. I know I normally don't go on, you know what I mean, this late, but you know what? I felt like, you know, talking some boxing. I seen this Williams Zepeda shit, you know what I mean? And I had to, you know, come speak on it because I seen a lot of people, A1, make a video about Shakur Stevenson, you know, calling out Kambosos and William, right? And I was with it, but I'm even more with the fact that Williams Zepeda is with the smoke. So now we probably got us a fight on our hand. This gonna be a good fucking fight. What's good, Tim? Appreciate you sliding through this thing, Tim. Glad you can make it, pimp. Tim says salute T. So it's happening. I ain't gonna say that it's happening, right, Tim, but you know, Shakur Stevenson put out the open challenge, right, to Williams Zepeda. Williams Zepeda answered it. Both fighters, I signed with Top Rank or Top Rank friendly, right? Both fighters have fought on Top Rank, multiple times, type deal. So, what I mean? I think this fight is more likely to happen than, the Cruz fight that we all got excited about. And the Cruz fight is a good fight too. But like my guy, A17 just saying, like I've been saying, I think this is a much better fight. This is a more difficult fight for Shakur. My guy A17 said, I like this as a pay to scrap better. Me too, bro. All in all, on the whole, bro, it's a much better fight. It's a harder fight for Shakur. It's a harder fight for Shakur as well. You know what I mean? I think, like I was just saying, man, I think he beat Isaac Cruz pretty easy. And that's not saying that Shakur is. I mean, it's not saying that Eastside Cruz is, trash and nothing like that. I just think that Shakur is a level or two above Eastside. But with Williams Zepeda, I don't think Shakur is 2 levels above Zepeda, even if he a level above him, right? You know what I mean? I think Zepeda is a bigger threat with his power because he delivers and places his power better. He said Cambosis food for somebody like Shakur anyway. Yeah, facts. Yeah, facts. Cruz, Cambosis, both of them fall in the same boat, you know what I mean? But Williams Zepeda, you can't just necessarily call Williams Zepeda food. Now, I haven't seen, too many people talk about this yet. This news dropped today. I haven't seen many people speak on it just yet. You know what I mean? But I wanted to, speak on this shit. I think this is news worthy of talking about, away from the, Bud and, Earl Spence thing every day. For a minute, I kind of stepped away from boxing. I don't know if y'all noticed. Took me a little break from it. I stepped away from it because it seemed, clustered and filtrated with bullshit and lies and deceit and all that shit. But you know what I said? I can't really step away from it because if I step away from it, then I'm taking one more person out the game, with real knowledge and who speak on more than just, the same fighters every single day. So if I take myself out, then I'll be taking out a boxing mind that the people need, to talk about the real shit while everybody else talking about the bullshit. So instead of pulling away from the game, I'm going to go even harder. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what I did today. I just, today was me just getting back into the rhythm of, how Southern T normally operate. Yoda said, yeah, calling out Cambosis. I wasn't feeling it. Yeah, I mean, but he called out, Cambosis and William at the same time, right? And I seen people, rap about it, type deal. But William obliged him. William answered. You know what I mean? So it seemed like we end up getting, a fight out of it, Yoda. He said he go outbox Pitbull too. If he had more boxing being in controlling his attack, he would present a bigger challenge. Yeah, facts. And I think Williams Zepeda actually do. He's a bigger fighter than Pitbull. He got a longer reach. He's a better boxer. He hit harder. You know what I mean? He just all around a better pedigree. This is a live fight for Shakur Stevenson. Williams Zepeda is a live fighter. This is a live fight for Shakur Stevenson. Like, this is a fight that Shakur Stevenson could lose. Think about where Shakur Stevenson is at in his career and where Williams Zepeda is at in his career. You could almost say that Williams Zepeda is more in his prime than Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson still got room to grow. You know what I mean? Zepeda is more so, in his final form than Shakur. And he's not an old guy by a long shot. You know what I'm saying? He's a guy who's running and revving, you know what I mean, for a title shot. That ain't gonna be no easy smoke for Shakur Stevenson. Yo, that's what I'm getting at, which is why I'm up at motherfucking 2 a.m. talking about this shit. You get what I'm saying? That ain't gonna be no easy fight for Shakur. My guy DS says skinny. Who should Stevie Spark fight? I'm guessing Stevie Spark go running back with Montana. I'm guessing Stevie go running back with Montana. Steve at 140. I'm guessing they gonna try to run that thing back with Montana. You know what I mean? I'm thinking that's what they said. I remember Eddie Hearn. I remember after the fight, I don't know if it was just emotion or, the outbreak from the immediate reaction, the immediate result. I mean, but he said he go put Stevie Spark and Montana Love right back in Cleveland again. So I'm thinking he go fight. I'm thinking he go fight. Goddamn. I'm thinking he go fight Montana Love again. Diaz. It's a good tough fight, but I still expect Shakur to bust his ass at the end of the day. if Shakur get hit, man, right? But the question in that fight gonna be right if Williams Zepeda, you know what I mean, hit Shakur, you know how he gonna react to the punches and shit. You know what I mean? Now he did knock JoJo Diaz, that right? But JoJo Diaz was doing a lot of. He was in defense mode. He did basically JoJo Diaz did to Williams Zepeda what Mikey Garcia did uh to Earl Spence, right? He kind of just went into their shell. He said, "I'm not getting knocked out. I'm gonna go." He said, "I'm not getting knocked." He said, "I'm not gonna win, but I'm not gonna get knocked out. I'm gonna go the distance, right?" And JoJo kind of just went into their shell and he got through it, right? Because he ain't no whole big, so he ain't gonna run. It's basically what JoJo did against Zepeda, right? With Shakur, it's gonna be Shakur not letting William, you know, get off on him being able to land his shit because William got that power and he like to string punches together. And if William gets you hurt, you know what I mean, he go pounce on you. You know what I mean? You got to check William resume. He got all them knockouts for a reason. I did the EP on Williams Zepeda, you know what I mean, over a year ago. He one of the guys that's been on my radar. I was just waiting for him to get that big signature fight. You know what I mean? And he fought Alvarado, and then he fought, you know what I mean, JoJo. Now JoJo's a guy he should have beat right moving up, but the combination of Alvarado and JoJo back to back, I do like that, and his willingness to actually fight Shakur Stevenson, I like that as well. Like I was saying earlier, Williams Zepeda is everything I thought he was, which is why I'm giving him his due diligence right now. He said probably Montana Love versus Steve Spot rematch and clear. Yeah, that's what he said. That's what Eddie Hearn said. DS. That's what Eddie Hearn has said. DS. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm thinking next for Steve Spot. Maybe if he don't fight him right, shit, maybe he can fight motherfucking uh mm, so I don't want to put him in there. He ain't no title contender. Shit, maybe he fight one of them goddamn UK prospects. He said JoJo doesn't. He's a JoJo decent. He's not a bum. Yeah. He not a bum. But he moved up to 140. That was his first time at 140. JoJo one of them dudes who don't duck no smoke, home cut, where the weight class at. He'll fight. But I think his dimensions, don't really fit for 140. Him fighting at 140, is all bad. You know what I mean? The highest he need to go is 135, and he's still kind of small for 135. You know what I mean? I think JoJo go chase the bag. JoJo ain't ducking no smoke. If it make money, it makes sense for JoJo. JoJo going to get the bag. You know what I mean? But yeah, JoJo actually right. His best weight class would be 130. That's where he would be. To his best ability. Given his height and his reach and all this shit. But they'll wait hard for him to make. Being older. So no, JoJo ain't no bad fighter by a long shot at all. JoJo, right? He one of those fan friendly guys. He got a fan friendly style. I fuck with JoJo. Shout out JoJo. You know what I mean? But Zepeda was all wrong for him, and I knew that going into it. I knew that. JoJo going to get paid. JoJo 29-year fight. He's imagine if Montana Love loses to Steve Spark again at home. That would be terrible for him. If Montana Love lose to Stevie Spark again, bro. And if y'all just tuning in, Zepeda accepted Shakur offer for a fight, by the way, a couple of days ago. Shakur Stevenson said, since Cruz don't want to fight, I'll fight who next in line. George Kambosos or Williams Zepeda. Williams Zepeda came out today and he said, you ain't got to call my name. Just send me the contract and the date and I'm there. You know what I mean? So that's a fight for us to look forward to. Right now, we talking about Montana. You know what I mean? But if Montana lose to Stevie Spark, bro, if he lose to Stevie Spark, bro, yeah, his career is like, I don't necessarily want to say it's done because you could always turn it around. He's an extremely young dude. But bro, like if you getting dropped by these, UK dudes, you getting dropped by Stevie Spark. You got dropped by the guy before Stevie Spark. Some people feel like you lost the fight before Stevie Spark. right? But you fought and you end up getting out of it. You went life and death with the guy before Stevie Spark. You just was going life and death with Stevie Spark and you was losing. If you lose to Stevie Spark at this point, man, I don't want to say your career over, but as far as people taking you serious as a contender, that shit is probably over. That's almost out the window right now. You got about one more bad performance before people consider you, you know what I mean, or bust. You already, Montana Love already, you got a lot of people saying that you just ain't that guy. You know what I mean? I will say this, I thought Montana Love would be much better than he is now at this point in his career. I thought at this point in his career, Montana Love would be much better, you know what I mean, than he is. But I don't know what it is with Montana. I will tell you something that I noticed, right? In his last fight, you could say that he came in out of shape, right? So okay, cool. That's why he performed bad, right? But this fight, the man looked in shape. You know what I mean? He had no problem making weight. He looked good physically, and he still had some of the same problems present itself. You know what I mean? Still the same holes in his defense, and he ended up getting dropped again. You know what I mean? That can't become a thing. You know what I mean? That can't become, the normal for Montana. They're just, that's not a good look, especially at 140 when you got punches up there. Think about him fighting the top guys at 140. If you can't handle the Stevie Spark, the top guys at 140 go spark you. You get what I'm saying? He said he might find Montana be on that bullshit. If he get that run back, he better be about his issue. Right. He said Montana Love gotta fight Steve Spark on the inside because Steve gets wild and swings on the outside. Yep, and he was dropping Montana. Yep, he was dropping Montana. And Montana Love getting he comfortable boxing people. It's like he comfortable boxing people. He don't throw enough punches for me, right? It's like he be kind of loading up. He be trying to catch people with one shot. Like he just got, he got good power, right? But he be trying to, you know what I mean, catch people with one shot. He be throwing 12 punches around like he got that tank power or Deontay Wilder power. Or you know what I mean? Montana, you gotta let your shits go a little bit. You got some power, but you got power when you can land on motherfuckers. If you throwing one shot few far in between and you missing, people go be able to walk in on you and beat your ass like they doing. I think Montana got a game plan problem. He got his fighting style ain't good for his strengths and what he do best. It's like he think he's stronger, you know what I mean, than he is. Cause I feel like if he let his hands go, I feel like if he let his hands go, right, a little more, he'll be able to land on the fighter a little more, right, and he'll be able to, get the guys up out of there like he used to. But he be loading up, you know what I'm saying? Like he got that fucking Deontay Wilder or tank power, trying to throw 8 punches around, and you be missing out 8, and people be teeing off on your ass. You know what I mean? He said these boxers got to stop all that showboat and admit your work and out and admiring your work. Don't try to be Roy Jones Jr. He said that's bad, motherfucker, barely making weight. Yeah, yeah. But shit, he made weight well the last time, and he still had some of the same issues. A1. That was what was alarming to me, and I ain't really talk about it like in depth on his own, but I see it like doing streams and no streams. But yeah, that's what I noticed about Montana. He was out of shape the first time, in shape the last time, and he looked the same. You know what I mean? I think it's a fighting style issue. Like I think he going about being the wrong style of boxer. He trying to be a KO artist when he need to be a boxer puncher. He gotta open up a little bit more. Throw more shots to give himself more chances to land his power. Not throwing one shot at a time, few far in between. I think that allow people to get off on him. I think that's allowing these dudes to get off on him, man. And I'm not sure if he could beat Steve Spark. Just being real with y'all. Not sure if he could beat Steve Spark. You know what I mean? Not all the way so that he beats Steve Spark. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't think Montana like in a great spot right now. I tell you this, he gotta beat Steve Spark. He gotta beat Steve Spark right now to save his career. And that's crazy saying that. That man gotta beat Steve Spark to save his career right now. For real, for real. But Zepeda, Williams Zepeda and Shakur Stevenson, I think that's the right fight. I think this the right fight. Uh, you know what I mean? For Shakur Stevenson moving up to 135. Shakur Stevenson, one of those dudes, right? You know, he's under a microscope, right? People watching and waiting to see exactly, what he do, right? Uh, my guy Yoda just came in and said, he wasn't really feeling the George Kambosos call out, right? I wasn't really feeling, the George Kambosos call out. And I'm pretty sure it's other people, who feel like that. You know what I mean? Him being under the microscope like he is, right? Certain people, right? A lot of people, could fight who they want to, right? Tomato can, not tomato can, and get by with it. But Shakur Steve's not one of those people. Like I'm pretty sure people was ready to tear him down. You know what I mean? For the even his fans didn't really, like the Kambosos call out. But you do a complete 360, right? You go Kambosos or Williams Zepeda. I think Williams Zepeda, especially after what he just did, you know what I mean, to JoJo Diaz. Now, Williams Zepeda, right, especially at the 140 division, he has beat, you know, better fighters than JoJo or equal fighters to JoJo, right? They hold the same weight as JoJo, but they name don't hold the namesake of JoJo. So, seeing Williams Zepeda, touch up a guy like JoJo, got a couple more eyes on Williams Zepeda. So I think as far as the timing of the whole thing and the whole fight, I think it's perfect timing. You know what I mean, for Shakur and Williams Zepeda as well. What better fight for Shakur Stevenson's first fight, you know what I mean, than the top 5 ranked lightweight, right? And what better time to fight Williams Zepeda than after, his biggest win of his career, which would be JoJo Diaz, right? The biggest name for sure, right, would be you know, JoJo Diaz. So I think it's perfect time. It make perfect sense. I think Williams Zepeda check all the boxes for Shakur Stevenson, right? On top of the fact that Shakur Stevenson called him out, right? Williams Zepeda was minding his business, and Shakur Stevenson called his name, and Williams Zepeda obliged him, right? So at this point, the fight makes sense, and it has to happen because at this point, if Shakur Stevenson says, I don't want to fight William, or Shakur Stevenson decides to go a different route after, William Zepeda accepted it, then we got to hold Shakur Stevenson feet to the fire. You know what I mean? We got to hold his feet to the fire because you called out William Zepeda. He accepted. So I'm expecting the fight. I'm expecting a response, you know what I mean, sooner than later because shit, I seen, reports drop about Shakur saying that he want to fight William Zepeda maybe 4 days ago, right? So maybe if I saw it right 4 days ago, it happened about 5, 6 days ago. So let's just say a week. It took Williams Zepeda about a week, for it to get around to him, for him to hear it. And he came back with an answer and he said it's in the contract. So Shakur Stevenson got about a week, to respond and let us know what's really going down because especially when it's something that you initiated. And I think Shakur and William are about, the same size too. So this ain't gonna be a thing where Shakur is a lot bigger, than his opponent. People like to say Shakur, a weight bully, fight smaller guys. Williams Zepeda and Shakur around the same size. Zepeda may have a longer reach. So I think this gonna get interesting, right? If this fight is to happen, which I do think it is, I think this fight most definitely, you know what I mean, is going to happen. You know what I mean, given the situation, both guys, top ranked friendly fighters. So most definitely see this thing going down. I think this the one, right? This the one. I did a video, when the WBC announced those fights, and I told you guys which fights I think was going to happen. The Cruz and Shakur fight was one of the fights that I didn't think was going to happen, but this fight right here, it makes a whole lot of sense. Then at this point, right, with Shakur extending the offer and Zepeda accepting the offer, I don't see under no circumstance. I don't see under no circumstance that this fight don't happen. And the only circumstance I see this fight not happening would be under circumstances of Shakur Stevenson ducking William Zepeda, right? And I know that ain't, the move. I won't be surprised if Shakur Stevenson had an answer for this shit tomorrow. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure I know how social media work, right? Yeah, I'm sure he got like a fucking PR team, you know what I mean, or like a street team. Somebody seen William Zepeda, you know what I mean, the Black Shakur. Somebody told him. Somebody told him. You know what I mean? So, Shakur Stevenson is, Shakur Stevenson on the clock. You know what I mean? I'm watching, Shakur Stevenson, and hopefully, I haven't seen anybody talk about this just yet, right? But hopefully, word get around pretty soon, and then we get people talking about it because a lot of people, talked about Isak and Shakur. A lot of people talked about Shakur calling him out. You know what I mean? So I hope the fans, kind of hear about this, whether it's from me, whether it's from somebody else. But I hope this, a fight that the fans, kind of, stick to, they kind of take to, because I think, fights. I think this fight for Shakur Stevenson makes perfect sense. For his first fight at 135. This will be a great win, right? Not a good win. This will be a great win at 135 for anybody at 135, let alone Shakur Stevenson's first fight at 135. But I ain't gonna keep y'all in this thing too long. Just want to come in and have a boxing conversation with y'all real quick. Shout out everybody sliding through this joint, all the queens. You know what I mean? Appreciate y'all folks sliding through this joint. My brother DS, my brother 817. You know what I mean? Kurt Reigns, Tim Free, goddamn BBG. You know what I mean? Everybody that came through. My girl Jess, my baby mama Ty. Love you, baby. Appreciate you, Jess. We so crazy ass. Shout out my girl, Roy Bish. Appreciate you sliding through. Look, they go to spammers right there. Look, they got a motherfucking spammer. Appreciate you sliding through, but I ain't gonna hold y'all up too long. Shakur Stevenson put out an open challenge. You know what I mean? To George Kambosos and William Zepeda the other day. William Zepeda, has now accepted the challenge of Shakur Stevenson. Now the ball is back in Shakur Stevenson's court. Now we waiting. Now I'm waiting, right, to see exactly what Shakur Stevenson got to say about this and what's gonna come from this. I'm expecting the fight to come from this because neither of these guys duck smoke. Challenge been made, challenge has been accepted. I'm feeling like the next step, for these two is going to be fight date. You know what I mean? But Williams Zepeda told Shakur Stevenson, man, you ain't got to call my name. All you got to do is send me the contract. So, we sitting there waiting. We go see what's transpired from this. But I ain't going to hold y'all too long. I'm about to get up out of here. It's getting hard on way 70. This ain't the past. This ain't the future. It's just the present. It's how we rocking. And I'm out. Love.